Hey guys, welcome to another Routemaster stream. Sorry about the little bit long there on the intro. As I record or after I recorded it, I didn't realize for like 5 or 6 seconds that it was done. So far we have Gordon. That's the only person I see is showing up so far. Welcome, appreciate you showing up. So actually, in the description, I said that I'm going to start on part 30. That was a misnomer. I'm starting on part 34. And it's some pretty good-sized parts. I've got about 6 packs out right now. Not sure if I'm going to get through all of them. And I'm going to think. Don't know if everybody knows, but Nichelle Nichols, Uhura, died over the weekend. So that's another one of the TOS casts that we've lost. Really sad. But she was 89 and did live a really, really full life. So it's a little bit sad, a little bit happy. That leaves Kirk, Sulu, and Chekhov are the only ones from the original cast that are still around. The main cast, at least. So let me switch cameras and we'll get to work on the bus. So got the parts out here already. So didn't get a chance to watch any of his 24-hour build. How long did he get into it before he dropped off there, Gordon? I don't know that I could do a 24-hour build, although I do plan on doing similar to what we did last year, except for this time it's actually going to be posted to the internet, a stream at the end of the year for New Year's. So let me see. Just making sure. It says to identify the parts. These are all brackets that are going to hold these safety bars on. The fuel tank. The top and bottom of the fuel tank. So here, 34B. This is the fuel filler cap base. $14 to 15 hours. Still, that's not bad. I don't know that I could build that long straight. For those of you who are watching the rerun, that's what was just talking about, that Wayne was doing a 24-hour build and he got burnt out and he managed to do 14 to 15 hours. Still not a bad showing. That is 34.8. Okay, so we got the neck, we have the base, and we have the cap. And several brackets. And lots of screws. And these, Todd was saying that these are so you don't put a bunch of stress on the springs as you're putting on the putting screws on. I don't know if that's what it's for. I know that they did the same thing with the DeLorean. They had brackets, but that was for the so you can fold the wheels. So this is where we left off last week on stage 33. past, you've done 1 or 2 24-hour model kit builds for charity. I don't know that I could last that long. I really don't. I would try, but not sure I could make it. Like I said, we will be through on HTM. We will be doing a 24-hour. Takes the weight off the tires. Oh, I see what you're saying. So that you don't end up with square tires eventually. So yeah, on HTM, I at least will be planning on running a stream at least from noon till midnight on New Year's Eve. It's all down to planning. Absolutely. Sleep. Arrange your sleep so that you can stay up that long. So I got some QM screws. The first one's these. And you take that label, transfer it over to the screw container. YouTube max is 8 hours. Well, I guess we'll have to do, we'll have to do 6 hours, take a break, and do another 6 hours. We didn't do the whole thing live on YouTube last year, but we did do is we were on Discord for 12 hours straight. And we started, some of us that were there the whole time, me, started getting a little bit loopy. Jalen stopped in for a while. Kaylin was there. It was a good time. And where is it? So I was up to HP, and I just found IP screws. So I have to do another container. So I'm actually going to end up with 2 full containers of screws off of this build. So how was Vegas, Todd? I know you and the girlfriend went. Did you come back still single? Because things can happen in Vegas. Not too bad. The last year, when we did the speed build at the end of the year, I built start to finish the Airbus 380. Oh, you're driving back now. For some reason, I thought you were already back. So you're forcing her to listen to me drone on while you're driving back. I don't know, man. Or is she driving and you watching? Because I know that Eric does that sometimes. You go ahead and get these out of the way. Well, actually, let me see how well they. Okay. They actually go up a little bit higher than the DeLorean did. She's up. She's asleep. You wore her out this week, did you? So I'm just looking to see how this looks. Pretty precarious, actually, right now. Yeah, that might work. About an hour out. So you should be back in Phoenix by the time I'm done tonight. Wife just snuck in and stole the Windex that I use to sometimes clean my airbrush. Okay, so now that I've got all the parts put away, first thing it says to do is take the fuel tank bottom, which is this part right here. Got a couple of posts inside of it, screw holes in the posts, and then 4 tabs around the outside. And it says to put the top on and attach the 2 parts together with IP screws. And I was going to say it doesn't look like there's any orientation to it, but there is actually. So right here, you can see those 2 indents right there. They're supposed to go opposite from these tabs. So it's like that. The indents are here, and the tabs are over here. So let me get the IP screws. And I don't have the towel down right now because I don't expect I'm going to be working on any parts that have paint that can get scratched. But we will see. I just noticed as I was putting the first screw in, there is a round part down there sticking out of the tank. And it is going to go, is that upside down? Okay. And it is put in from the bottom of the chassis. So setting it up on these blocks really didn't do me much. I'm not going to flip it upside down. Because I don't want to damage the engine. I'm just going to lay it over on its side. Actually, I will flip it all the way over so you guys can see. So right here is the spot where the fuel tank goes in. And it goes in, like I said, there's the 4 tabs and there's screw holes here, 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 and here. So it'll go in there just like that. Lay it on its side. And it is using GM screws. Since these are going into metal, let me get the oil out. Four GM screws. With it up on its side this way, it's a little odd when I put the screws in. Odd for my hands. Slide over here a little bit, and I'm going to get all 4 of them started before I drive any of them all the way in. So it's another hot day in Illinois today. It's actually gone down a little bit. It's down to 92 degrees outside, but it is, that makes it 83 here in the shop. I have an air conditioner in here, but I try not to use it more than I have to simply because of the cost of electricity. When I finally fully retire, I won't use it that much then either, because what I'll do is I'll just switch my shift, my waking hours over, and be out here working at night. Sitting at Denny's. How's it going, Eric? Hopefully you're having something good to eat. No, that's too sharp. Okay. Tighten this down. Okay, that's snug. America's Diner Double with fries. I do not know what the America's Diner Double is. It sounds like it's a burger, which sounds good. I'm a creature of habit. I usually have something along the lines of a chicken fried steak, which is kind of funny because at one point when we were moving over here from California, no, it was when we moved from Wisconsin to California, and Eric said it is a huge cheeseburger. So when we went from Wisconsin to California, we were sitting in I don't know if it was a Denny's or what kind of a diner it was. We were sitting in the restaurant, and when I came time to order, it was for breakfast. So I ordered a chicken fried steak and eggs. And my son misunderstood me to say a hunk of fried steak and eggs. It was hilarious. It is still a running joke whenever we go out to eat. Okay, I'm working on the underside. Red dotted lines. Pegs are fitted, and the blue arrows indicate where the screws are fitted. Oh, I put this thing back on its side and shouldn't have yet. So, give me just a second. I don't have the boxes I had here last week. There we go. I do have things here so that I can take the bus itself and put it completely over and not set it on the engine. So if I set this in the center here, I can now turn it completely over and it's not going to damage the engine. So it says to take, and I'm looking to see which side are they working on. And of course, they're working. I tend to like to set the bus the way they've got it so that when I look at it, it looks right to me. And I'm looking and grabbing the wrong ones. So on these 4 brackets that are going to hold the safety bars on, these 4 brackets each have a tab on them. There on the bottom, along with the pin, and then a tab up here with a screw hole in it. And I'm just looking. And go back to the beginning. Identify. These are the easy ones. These ones are both the shorter 2. or the shorter ones, and they fit in there like that. No, they don't fit in there like that. What the? You would think that they would have the screws on the same side. Hang on. Okay. So these, I'm just looking. According to the pictures, these tabs go on the front. There. Let me see what J and H, which ones are those? H is the big one, J is the small one. So let me make sure I've got this one right. Nope. Come on. So these are very particular to put on. If you look, there's the tab. The two tabs in the middle are facing the back end. The back one in the back is facing the front. The one in the front is facing the back. So let me get 4 cm screws and very carefully put these on. There's number 4. Oil. And these I can put all the way down since they're not attached to anything else at this point. That looks odd. Oh, there's why it looks odd. This beam gets a little bit wider out towards the edge. And that's why I didn't want to start this last week, because it looked like it might be complicated. Go ahead and do the one in front. Oh, you know what? I was absolutely wrong on that one. I've got the wrong part there. This one that I just tried to put in there goes on the opposite side. Just re-looking at the picture, the tab for this one on the end on the front does go towards the front, which could make that a little bit interesting to get in there. Dip it in the oil again. Better. Yeah, when it just drops straight into the screw hole, I knew that was wrong. That one still looks wrong to me. That, just double checking the other ones. No, that has to be the right one. Andrea is shushing Apollo because he was just outside barking. If he comes in here, I will put him on camera. A giant ball of fluff. There he is. Apollo. Come here, Apollo. Oh. Yes, Apollo. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here. Let me see. Let me pick the camera up instead. Apollo. Hey, buddy. You good boy, huh? He's actually my grandson's dog. Yes, you're a good boy. And Murphy's in here being jealous. A good boy, Murphy. Back to the bus. For a second there, it looked like the bus might not come back. Apollo's not the most talkative dog that I've ever met, but it is kind of cool that he talks. Doesn't talk a whole lot, unless you're really paying attention to him. Then he talks your ear off. And he didn't take my sandals. He does that sometimes. And it said, do not fully tighten them. Don't fully tighten the screws until the safety bar is on. So we loosen each of these about a turn. Turn it right side up, it says. Oh, man. Just knocked that loose. Crap. Knocked it all kinds of loose. I knocked it out of the hole here in the frame and actually out of the hole in the tank down here. I'll set it on the side so I can actually see the hole. Okay, it's in there, but it may still come out again. Okay, roll this over. Make sure I didn't lose any of the brackets. These are identical. So I get one. Should be pretty much straightforward. Yeah, that way. So you get 4 EM screws. And what I was doing was I was looking to see the holes. The holes were not going to line up with the other direction. I had to turn it around so the holes would line up. The holes on the ends would line up. The ones in the middle, for the 2 brackets in the middle, would not have lined up. I'm going to start with one of the middle ones first. I'm going to do those first because those are the ones that weren't lining up before. I'm going to just put it through. That one's threaded. Interesting. Axolotls are upstairs, and I'm downstairs. So let me turn this around because it wasn't lining up. So did you want me to ask my wife where she got ours at, Todd? Come on. When I put it on the first time, it looked like it was off. So let me do the one on the back. So yeah, I will find out from my wife and I'll post to Discord on the axolotls where she got them. I think they might have been on eBay. Not positive though. Andrea?
Yes.
Where did you get the axolotls?
There's a website online is called IB's Axolotls. It's a breeder. IB's.
It is an actual website, Todd. So I will get it for you and I will post it on Discord for you after the stream. Easier to put these on with it on its side. I need to be cognizant of the exhaust. A couple of times that I've turned it over, I've heard something scraping. It was actually the exhaust pipe. I don't want to break that off. Okay, so tighten that one. And tighten these ones on the side down. Let me see something. It looked like, no, it looked like while I was putting it on that it was crooked. It looked like there was a bend down on this end, but there is not. Now to go back up under here, tighten these back down. I think this safety bar, if it's what I think it is, that's actually pretty impressive that they put it in the kit. I don't know if they still do it in American cars, but they used to put a steel bar through the side, down the side of the car. You know, obviously openings in it, or you could open the doors that was running through the inside of the doors, but it was so that if you got hit from the side, it wouldn't just collapse. Okay, so now put these other ones on. And I think that's actually what these bars are. Yeah, this is basically doing the exact same thing. Smaller bracket back here, or actually medium-sized bracket. Large bracket up here in the front. The two small ones on either side of the gas tank. And it would make sense to have a steel beam running down the side of the bus next to the gas tank, so that if somebody did hit you, it wouldn't go straight. They wouldn't go straight into the gas tank. You get 4 cm screws. Okay, now you're going to stay there. I tried to set it on there before, it didn't want to stay. Instead of flipping it over to put the safety bar across the side, I'm going to do it while it's upside down. It's a little bit easier. Get this last one in here. And line this one up, same as I did the other side. See, that doesn't look like it's going to fit. So I'm going to put it this way. That should go. Now watch it do the same thing it did last time, which was it when I went to actually put it in, somehow I had reversed it. It's 5. Actually, it's 7 that I got out. And then 4. Through the bar. That one started. This time I got it right. That one started. It is loose as all get out right now. And it's not that any of the screws are really that loose. It's just that the combination of being loose on each of the points makes it look like it's just really, really loose. Come on. Okay, so let me tighten these up in the middle first. When they go snug, they go completely tight because it's into metal. It's an awkward position getting further up to the front here. It all started, so I'm going to tighten them down on the chassis so that this last one is tight and isn't flopping all over the place while I'm trying to screw it in. Much more better. Oops. Just about to tighten one on the gas tank instead. That one's tight. 2 more to go. Like I said, I think this would simulate a steel bar. Let me see if it actually says something in the instructions about it. Doesn't really say. It just says that they're fitted. I'll have to look that up and see. So now I can turn it back over and put it on its wheels. I think I'm getting really, really close to that being the last of the stuff that goes on the bottom of the bus. So actually, let me turn it around. Oh, this thing weighs a ton. We got the fuel filler cap parts to go on. Let's take the cap, and this is similar to, was it this one? I know there was a cap on, no, this one right here. This cap right here opens and closes. This one is the same thing. The fuel filler cap is actually attached with a screw so you can open and close it. So let me see. It's a CP screw. It shows it going from the front to the back. I'll show you guys that. So you can see, come on, focus. You can see on here, there's a narrower side and a wider side. It goes through the narrower side. The wider side is the part with the threads. Since this is plastic, it does not need to have oil on it, but it does need to go in threads first, not head first. I was actually trying to, it was almost like I was trying to put the screw head in first. Wow. You know what? I don't think that's a CP screw. Maybe it is. It just looks like it's a little bit bigger than the other two that are in there. Come on. I do not see. Oh, there it is. I was going to say I don't see where it went. I actually think this is, even though it says to use this screw, I think this is the wrong screw. Because it won't even go through the filler cap. Let me try a DP instead. Like the DP a lot better. That's actually going to go thread through. So get that on there. Yeah, the CP was, the screw threads were too big to fit through the holes. But the DP was perfect. I don't know if that's a misprint, but I'm going to use the screws that fit. So now I'm going to actually open it and close it. It is a little bit short on one side. I don't think it's going to matter. I doubt it's going to back out. So now the filler pipe goes on there like that. The bracket with the cap over top of that, and two QM screws hold the two parts together. Hold those two parts on to the top of the gas tank, or the top of the bracket area that holds the gas tank. one started, and the other one started. There you go. You can see gas tank, gas cap now. Let's see if I can put it up there where you can actually see it a little bit better. Gas cap opens, and there's your filler tube. I need to rearrange my camera so I actually have a lower camera for zooming in. Yeah, it says the fork cradle supports fit under the tabs on these tabs. They're not used, so store them at this stage until they are needed. Interesting. Okay. That is the end of that stage, and I think, let me see. Yep. At this point, I think the bus itself, the main chassis, can move, and I will actually get the towel out. Every time I pick it up from the front, I feel that light and I cringe a little bit because I don't want to rip it off. I could get that towel out. Eric loves that towel. That's a better towel. That red towel just will sometimes blow the picture completely out. So, 35. Is the driver's cab floor. And there are some really, really small printing, or there's really small printing on some of these parts. Actually, that's a good size one for super glue. So we've got the driver's cab floor, driver's cab left wall. And if let's see, will it focus? That is really cool because that is really, really small. Dip switch. Here's the handbrake. Engine stop switch. The support bracket and some screws. Got MM and CM screws. So there's the MM screws, 3 of them, and 3 CM screws. It's interesting that the switch has no wires to it. Kind of curious to see if it's actually going to have wiring to it. And by the way, You can hear that. That's metal. That's plastic. So let me get 2 mm screws out to attach that left wall. And there's actually, you've got a couple of pins back here, along with the screw holes. You've got screw holes and pin holes on the side, so it will just slide in here like this and find the first hole. It's actually a snug fit here. So it's pretty snug fit between the sidewall and that block that sticks up there. I could get either one of these to go in. Okay, there we go. There's that one. Ah, never mind. That one didn't go in. It snapped off the pin. It didn't snap it completely off. It just made a pretty good mess out of it. So let me see if I can get this one to go in where it's supposed to. Pretty sure those pins are not going to be that important in the grand scheme of things. I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do. I think that got it. I had to work it around this bump, and I don't know if it's going to pick it up on the camera. You can see a slight white spot there. So I'm going to put this screw in. If I can get it to go in. This one as well. And I had it earlier. There it is. Let me see if I can do something with this instead. That short-handled screwdriver just isn't good enough. There we go. This one was not actually threaded in. But now it is. What was making it a little bit difficult is it's not a straight join there. This pin's in. This pin got a little bit squished. Go ahead and set that up there. Yeah, screws are easier to tighten if you use a screwdriver with a long shaft. Turn the floor over so that you can see this spot right here. That spot right there is where this switch goes. I'm just looking because there are contacts. It doesn't really show which direction those contacts have to go, but I think they have to go front and back. Still working on it. Take the bracket here, fit it over so the holes on 35 E are aligned with the various screw sockets. So there's a pin. There's a pin and a screw hole here. Just a screw hole on this end. So it goes on here like that, and then 2 CM screws go onto it to hold it in place. But take the extended shaft out. Put that one in a little bit. Actually, I think I finally found the head that fits these screws in this screwdriver set. That's the whole reason I haven't been using these screws or these screwdrivers. And I'm beginning to think, just looking at this, those contacts may not have to do anything. Because I don't see any way to get to the contacts. Which is rather interesting to put something like that in there, like that. So that goes back here. Actually, it says left side wall. So this is actually the front. This is where the seat is going to sit. This is a push fit connection, is what it says. For the brake, take the hand brake and push it into these holes right here. There's 2 pins on the end there. Line up with 2 pins in there. Larger pin goes in the front, smaller pin in the back, and it just pushes down. Yeah, that's in there all the way. And it looks like that. Take the engine control knob. And it has 2 different size pins, larger and a smaller pin on it. For larger and smaller holes, it actually mentions that specifically. The larger pin goes to the front, smaller pin to the back. I'm not sure, but it might have been easier to do this without the brake lever in place. I don't want to break off the knob. It already looks like it is. It's a little bit stressed. There. Hey Todd, so far Eric's been in and out. You've been here and HT's been here. That's about it. So there's the engine kill switch. So, and that's all there is on part 35. Part 36. Figured you were still here. Yeah, I figured you were still here. I think Eric is, because he's at Denny's, has been in and out, which is much better than Denny's. If you've ever been to California and had In-N-Out Burger, I miss In-N-Out Burger. They make one kind of burger. They make the double double, and that's it. And it is awesome. Okay. Get the screws out of the way. Got the steering wheel. Buzz. So got the steering wheel cap, the gear lever, gear lever cover, horn column and gear lever housing, steering column, the steering gear, and this is indeed a gear. It's going to be down at the bottom. I'm sorry, this is the steering shaft, and this is the steering gear. It links up to this steering column. Got the rocker lever, push rod, and two gearbox halves. Oh, I miss In-N-Out. I really do. They are awesome burgers. But we didn't have them too often because they're burgers. You get fat that way. Or in my case, fatter. Some PM screws. We never did the fries. All we ever did with In-N-Out was the burgers themselves. First time we got In-N-Out, it was funny because my daughter was visiting and she'd had In-N-Out before she knew, and she went and said, let's get In-N-Out. We got the burgers, and I was like, wait, they're not even really wrapped. They just had the, basically a paper envelope over top of them. Half of the burger was hanging out. I'm like, that's odd. Doesn't matter how odd it is. It's good. Okay, so first thing to do So I have to figure out which one of these. This is the one that I need. Very square section of the rocker level. There is a square part right there. Goes in to the gear housing. Goes into the gear housing. The steering gear fits down over top of it, and you fix it in place with a PM screw. There's a square hole in there. Make sure that it fits outside of the thing. This could be interesting to get that in there. 4x4 burgers, do tell. Is that where they, instead of being double doubles, you had basically the double doubles on top of themselves? Well, when we lived in Arizona, out by the base, that was the first time we ever ran into Schlotzsky's. Schlotzsky's was pretty good. This is going to be a bit fiddly. Okay, that. Get this screw back on here. So hopefully I can make this. What's happening is the arm is shifting. Once the arm shifts, I can't get the screw to thread in. Wait a minute, I think I got it threaded. 4 meat, 4 cheese. Sounds yummy. Okay, so you can see the gears are turning when I rotate the arm. So then this is going to stay down on the bottom. This is going to come down in here like so. And it has very specific spots where it has to line up. You can see the bumps. Those bumps have got to fit between the top, one on top, one inside, like that. Used to be able to order 100 by 100. Good God. Who would eat that, man? It would work better if I put this on the right way. So it goes on there like that. I can feel it. Rotating the steering wheel will rotate that. Let's see, to fit gearbox section, you just fit neck part, red dotted lines. Should connect with the teeth part. Fit the second gear section and close with 3 cm screws. I was just reading through all the instructions on there. 3, not 33, or 43, or 13 even. So 3 cm screws, and I'm holding this together while I'm doing all this, everything else with my right hand. There's one. Betcha, Todd, if you went in there and ordered the 100 by 100, they'd still make it. It's probably one of those hidden menu items. So before I go let this open at all, I'm going to tighten these 2 down. Then I can go back and do the last one. And that should well, it should, but the screw came out. Might this be a time that I need to use Loctite? If I can even get it to line up to where I can put it in there. So the gear is still in there. I think I may have played with it too much, and actually that's what pulled the screw out. See, I feel it pulling it down in. I think I'm not going to mess with it because it doesn't appear to be something that's going to be really durable in the long run. As long as I can keep the arm attached, I'll be happy. Because once it's one of them things, once the model is done, it will sit on the shelf, not like I'm going to be driving it around the house Or am I? Just one more time, try it. That's what it was, is I was going too far. Okay. Of course, they don't tell you that. So now fit the socket on the push rod. Oh, the socket on the push rod. Over the peg. Interesting. It says to fit the socket here over a peg that doesn't exist. Fixed in place with a QM. I don't see a peg or a socket, really. I see a spot for a screw to go in. So I'm going to get a QM screw, and it says do not over tighten. I'm guessing that means if you tighten it too much, it won't be able to turn. Let me see if it's like this. They've got it pointing out towards the front. Kind of had to thread it through the hole. Okay. So it goes on there like that. So when you turn the wheel, this arm is going to push it. So let me set that off to the side. Fit the hole into the gear lever over the peg and the gear lever housing. So this is the gear lever housing. There's the peg. And there's the hole on the gear lever that fits over that peg like that. And put the gear lever cover over top. It has a hole in it for the peg to go into. Has a hole in it for the peg to go into, plus a screw hole. So it's going to go on here like that, leaving a gap so that the gear lever can move back and forth. From the other side, put a DP screw in. Since it's a P screw, it's going into plastic. Tighten it down. Like that. And so you can see pretty easily the gear level moves. Fireball and Coke. Take the driver's cab floor from the previous stage, fit the driver's shaft. This fit the end part of 34F, which is the shaft for the steering. It's the steering shaft in the large hole in 35. There is a key on here and a keyway. So it's going to go on here like that. You can see it fits through the keyway down there. And you put the steering arm in from beneath the floor, or the steering rod, actually. It's actually pretty snug in the shaft itself. And underneath here, just looking, let me take that off and put these on first. I have a feeling yeah. I was trying to put it on backwards. So swing that, the arm swings like that. This arm here, the little arm that was giving me trouble earlier, is on the side, left side of the driver's cab. So let me slide this back down here. Get back in there. And so that now lines up perfectly down there. And put 2 CM screws in the bottom there to hold it in place. Set that there. Stay. Put some oil on there. This could be a little bit tricky because you're working right past that arm. Both the arms, actually. There's one started. Get that back into position. This one started. slipped off. Actually, the extension on here, because the size of the head here is getting in the way. Just tighten this other one back up. Not so much back up, but tighten it up. Sorry, I am off camera. And there's that snug. So this is now on here where it's supposed to go. If this arm should fall off again like it did, I'm not going to fight with it. I'm just going to glue it. I'm not going to have working steering. So now the gear shift lever assembly goes on here. It is keyed. There's a small keyway there. Key there. There's your problem. Let me loosen these up, because the problem is I actually have the steering column upside down. Of course, with this all the way down, it is actually putting some pretty serious pressure on there and not letting it loose. Mistakes have been made. People will be kicked. Okay, come on. Yeah, I didn't look closely enough. The top has got the slanted collar. The bottom has a flat collar. No harm, no foul. Stuff will work out again. Actually, it's lining up much more better. Make sure that stays down where it's supposed to be. Okay, much more better. This, I think, needs to be a little tighter than it is. I know it said not to over tighten it, but it's just flapping. There. So now, this should fit on the keyway it was supposed to. Yeah. So now that's on there. Gear shift lever on the left-hand side. So an screw. absolutely right. I got a 50-50 chance to get it right, and I got it wrong this time. Happens. Happens to the best of us. Happens to Todd, I think, even. So let me put the steering wheel on. Oops, almost forgot to oil the screw. Todd just posted on Discord that he's turning in the rental car, which I think that's rather odd that he had a rental to go to Phoenix. I mean, not to Phoenix, but to Vegas. Put this cap over top. And it's done. Store carefully to avoid damage to the push rod beneath. So let me put this in the box where I have all the other parts. I actually have a box that I keep the assembled pieces together so that they don't get screwed up. And I think I have plenty of time to do this, the brakes, the accelerator and the brakes. And actually, another, I think this is like the second set of wires that will be going in. So this is the brake pedal. Brake pedal hinge. I believe that's the brake pedal hinge. And it is metal. The return spring for the brake pedal. E. The accelerator pedal. A little bit different than these days. Back panel, keep for use in stage 38. So not until next time. This is a switch mount. This is going to be the brake light or brake switch. Not the light, but just the switch. Similar to almost every one of these. It's just a little switch there. You push to make contact. And then a bunch of screws. So RM those are the RM screws. I'll put the label on the thing. DP screws. AM screws. This one can go back. FP screws. Take the brake switch cable, and they still show it all coiled up. I always tend to uncoil it. And the switch mount, 37G. Let me make sure I know which one that is. Ah, 37F is the one. I had them backwards. This one doesn't get used yet. This one's is the one that we're using. So there's a screw hole on here. Line is shown in the diagram. So this, and it's not helping at all, but the sun keeps blasting in my eye every time I turn that way. Hang on a second. There. Now I can turn and look at the screen without going blind. Okay, so the switch comes around, the black part's on the bottom here. Underneath or behind this barrel like that. You get an FP screw, put it in there, and then I'll show you what it's talking about. Oh, I didn't catch that. Okay, there is actually a pin as well as a screw hole on there. So the pin goes in at the bottom, the screw goes in on the top. Just like that. There it is. Envelope helps the camera to focus. So the switch is on there like that. You can see the end of the screw head and the end of the pin holding the switch in place. So how was Lost Wages? Did you enjoy yourself at least? Welcome home, Todd.
Hey.
So let me bring this back over. Set it on top of the steering wheel. And it says, make sure, yeah, right here, Wow, I slipped off with a screwdriver and gouged the paint. These two holes here are where the pin and screw go on here. With the black plastic down. And so it's an AM screw that goes in there. One little, lost little. Played at every casino on Fremont. That's not bad. One little, lost a little, typical. Do they still have the $1 million in Binion's horseshoe? That was kind of cool last time I was there, but last time I was in Vegas was 15 years or longer than that. God, it's probably been 20 years since I was in Vegas. Get a little oil on there. In the hole. Tighten it down. And that is going to put, that actually puts pyramid stack under a glass cube, not hanging in the horseshoe anymore. That sucks. But there you can see the switch right here. Sits on top of these two pieces of metal. I don't know if I showed that comment. I think I did, but I'll show it again. And away from the switch mount. Okay, so the cable goes this direction. I do not have the parts to hold the cable in place, but it's going to get routed like that. So this switch piece, or the mount for the brake, is right here. Has a pin and a screw hole. Gets over this hole right here with the block in the middle. Actually need to put it in place with the tweezers. And it gets attached. It's about time, Eric. How was dinner? RM screw out of there. Just one. Stay. And that uses small driver. I think it does. What the heck? Try one of the other ones. Because I can't get a screw head in, or a screwdriver into it. Okay. Scarfed his Denny's down. Now he's here to torture me. I don't know. This is the last pack of the evening. Get that tightened down. So now the bracket, get that comment out of there. The bracket is now in place. So the brake pedal now comes down through the floor. A lot going on here. The brake pedal comes down through the floor right here. Actually, let me pull that back out. So here's what's going to happen. Brake pedal comes down through the floor. Right there is a hole where the spring goes. This is the hole that the brake pedal is mounted by. The other end of the spring mounts into this hole here, and the pivot point for the brake pedal is right here. Yes, this is the floor of the driver's cab. And I will tell you the steering mechanism, I'm sure it's authentic, but it's shaky. I'm not going to mess with the steering I'm going to mess with the steering as little as possible because I don't want to break it. There's an RM screw to pass it through the hole in the brake pedal, and the brake hinge to secure the pedal in place. So another RM screw. It says I have to hold the brake pedal in place. Truly, I don't. It just has to be roughly where it needs to go. So RM screw, if I can get it through the first side, I'm home free. Okay. So you can see that screws in there. And when I push on the brake, it compresses the switch, makes a connection. This is the part that's going to get interesting. So you've got a closed loop here, an open loop here on the spring. I have to put the open loop on this from the spring onto the hole in the brake lever or brake pedal, and and then bring it around and tie it down with the screw. Not a good thing when this spring decides to shoot off. At the same time, I've got to make sure I don't crush that switch. Might have been easier to put the spring in before. Put the spring through the arm before, or the brake pedal before I screwed it down. I'm actually going to take that screw back out, put the spring on there, and then put the screw back in with the spring hanging. Because now with the pedal loose, too loose to where it's going back up inside the cab, but I can get to this side of it pretty easily. Should be able to, hopefully, maybe. Of course, it's black on black. Okay. Haven't had to do this before on a yeah, I torture you as well, Bubbles. Good that your food was great. So I haven't had to use cheaters before on a part work. But I just can't see the hole on this part. Okay, come on. God bless it. It was on there, but it fell back off. Okay, so I've got the spring at least hanging there. Gently. Okay. Take these back off. Yes, absolutely. Glad you're back safe, Todd. Glad you did not have any issues on the road. So take an AM screw. And hook it through the other leg of the spring. Into this hole. Come on. Everything worked right. Well, there's your problem. God bless it. I've got no movement on the brake arm. Lost your voice and you were exhausted. I'm sure Vegas could have done you worse. So when I was looking at this in the book, I was looking at it wrong. And putting it in from behind was not what I needed to do. I thought I had to. But instead, this is really odd the way that this is in here. But according to the instructions, it comes in from the outside. Lock? I think you mean LOL, not luck. But I don't know. You are Eric after all. I need to put these back on. Let's see if I can just put it on this direction and swing it around. I'd still have to take the screw back off. Fat fingers, huh? Don't we all? So let's try this again. This time from the correct side. Damn it. It was on there and then it came back off. And that should have it. The problem was when I put it on and I attached the screw, or actually attach the spring with the screw, there was no movement at all in the brake pedal. To be honest, okay, there is actually, I was going to say there isn't a great deal regardless, but there is actually quite a bit. So let me see if I can get this coil to go over where it's supposed to be. Now the fun part, getting this screw. Damn it. Let's see what I can do. Todd, I need to borrow Francisco. Because this is being a pain in my butt. I could use a second pair of hands here. I am actually going to leave the tweezers inside of it. Matter of fact, I'm going to get a second set of tweezers. I think I actually have that really close to being lined up. Sorry guys, I'm not very talkative right now. This is very taxing. Eric said he's here to torture me, but he can't torture me any worse than this thing does. Actually, I just realized that works. I actually push the spring further through the brake lever, or brake arm, so that it was actually further over than it was supposed to be. Now let's see if I can get it back to where it's supposed to be. I wonder. How was my day? Not too bad, Eric. Not bad at all. Up to 189 subs on your channel. Yeah, everybody's watching Francisco. So let me see. I'm going to have to bend that spring down a little bit. Because right now the spring is actually literally holding it, the brake pedal on. Because the design of the spring, it's holding the brake pedal on instead of off. So let me see if I can bend the spring a little bit. I cannot tell. Yeah, the design of the spring is just off a little bit. I can get it to... Sorry, working the brake lever out, the handbrake lever out. I can get it to go just a little bit further down and stay that way. I think that's got it. Unfortunately, I don't have anything I can test it with right now. And actually, Todd, don't forget, you even said it yourself, that a lot of people are jumping on your channel because you have a lot of you've had a lot of information on about what's going on with eagle moss. You know, people are starving for information about eagle moss these days. Okay, so the brake pedal or the accelerator pedal goes into this hole, has a keyway. That one tried to escape. Has a keyway so that it goes in there the right way. There's only one direction it can go. And it uses a DP screw to hold it in. Just making sure. I remember taking out the DP screw, but I'm not positive I took out a DP screw. So let me put this in here. Literally, I'm almost tempted to put the brake pedal on this screw instead, because it would be far enough away and pull it down instead of holding it in place. I may try that later. I wonder if I am going to try that. Actually, that screw. That screw was not all the way down. That does make a difference. Okay. And this screw has backed out again because this backs out anytime this arm swings. So that is everything for right now. I am going to do a couple of tidy up things. Let me put this part in here so I know where it's at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tape a couple of things down so that they aren't swinging all over the place. You should, Todd. And what trouble are they going to give you? They're a defunct company. The worst that could happen is people that have shared information with you won't share information with you anymore. But they should be sharing it with the entire community anyway, because inquiring minds want to know.
How long are you still streaming?
Another 10 minutes, babe. It's one of these things I didn't expect this brake switch to be that difficult. So what I'm doing right now is these wires show in the book routed that direction. Oh, you mean yeah. Where they get stuff? China. And from each other. So that this arm stops moving all over the place. Tape it down. I shouldn't have uncoiled this wire in the first place. but I tend to do that as soon as I get them. I'll just set that on there. I'm pretty sure it's going to get hooked to something soon. You should do a video on it. I mean, unless you think they're going to not sell to you at that point, but I think they will. Or unless you think you're going to lose your commission builds. Don't do something that's going to hinder what you're already doing. But I'm sure you would get lots of views and lots of people want to know what's going on. Okay. So that tidies that up. It can go back in the box for now. Go away from me for a week. I'm frustrated with it. This was a difficult build tonight, which I actually enjoy a lot. So got through, let me see, that was stage, what was it? That was stage 37. So started with 34, so 34, 35, 36, 37. I don't know. Oh, you mean as far as being difficult? I do enjoy a challenge. So I'm going to call it a night. I'm on 20 minutes longer than I'm expected to be. I figured 10 minutes for the that last stage and shouldn't be any problem. What was in front of the camera was the top to this. So I'm going to call it, like I said, I'm going to call it a night. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know that some of you guys, like Todd, was on the way home. And HT, I know you're up in the middle of the night over there. Appreciate you guys stopping by. Have a great evening. Have a great day tomorrow. Like and subscribe if you like this content. And stop by if you haven't already. Stop by Hobby Time Modelers on both Facebook and YouTube. We'd love to have you join and join in on the Friday streams. I'll see you on Friday for the Friday evening stream. Talk to you later.